people just believe what they see. And I think so in hundreds of years back also there was in Hindi there was जो दिखता है वो भी सच नहीं होता.
So someone else has been calling the mother,
the
pretending
father,
to be their own daughter,
and that also a
with
video
the
call.
Exact voice and
video call. It was a video call with the court dress. Recently, our Supreme Court, the Oswal Group of Industries. I'm naming them because it was in the news. They had to pay 5.15 crores, where online hearing is going on of the Supreme Court, where our honorable CJ is sitting over there, and the court hearings are going on, and that the client, the victim, he's in that particular hearing. Except him, everyone was fake.
Oh my God!
And over there, our honorable CJ is pronouncing a penalty to him that you have to pay this much crore penalty, or else the matter may go against you. That person believed it and he deposited the money into the bank. In the evening, when he called up his lawyer, they told today hearing was only not there. Then how can the penalty be levied on you? I have already deposited that money. He said, sorry, show me the video. When the video was shown, he told the person who is standing and arguing, it is not me. The CJ is sitting, it is not him itself. The courtroom itself is a fake courtroom. This thing has happened just 15 days back in India, where that person was shocked. No one exists by this name, and the person who was chatting, he doesn't know who was she.
Artificial intelligence is a transformative technology that has touched all our lives now. It has made life easier in several areas of modern living, in education, in entertainment, in medicine. Of course, this is something that gives greater autonomy to humans, but with it comes certain serious risks. And now it's time to explore the legal liabilities, because there is enough fraud and enough anomalies that are coming to the fore, to the extent that the government of India has also started issuing new guidelines even for banks when it comes to financial fraud. Whether you talk about impersonating a voice, which is called voice cloning, or you talk about phishing, or you talk about generally trying to get money out of another individual through deep fake videos, all of this is happening with alarming regularity in this country. Joining me here today is Mr. Pankaj Bafna, who is a cybercrime lawyer who deals with these sort of cases day in and day out. Welcome to Free Press Journal. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
So I was reading about so many of these instances, and one instance which has really caught my eye is that how do you fix liability when AI is involved? And there must be so many cases. Say for instance the case of a driverless car. If a person is driving a car and an accident is committed, and you know how the liability is fixed. But what happens when AI is deployed? Who do you then go to? Is the manufacturer responsible? Is the creator? Is the developer of that particular system? How do you deal with these cases?
Ma'am, actually if you say, as per the legality, there are no specific laws where you can drag those people involved. But as per the practical and framing all the laws together, we see the person who has developed that particular software, that app. For example, a particular app, I will not name it. I want to create a deepfake video of myself. The app has some rules and regulations already framed into it, the disclaimers and all those things. And when I use that app, a video is created of my voice, my face and everything. And I use that video for committing a crime. So that means, as per the legal, as per my knowledge, which I convince the court, someone has given me the platform to do this act. Unless and until that app was not available, I couldn't have made a clone of myself. Where I could have fooled the people. So right now that I drag those people who are making the softwares, who are giving the platforms for uploading that particular applications, the APK files or whatever it is, to run those particular, I will not name the giants who are involved in that. So without them, not a single person can do anything, because ultimately it's a software. It's not something where a human involvement comes and just does something. It's a software which gives you a programming code which allows that executable file to execute, and then it goes to that opposite person.
Right.
So right now if I want to come before you, I have to come through the procedures. I have to clear the security, I have to take a lift, I have to come over here. I cannot come directly. So who is responsible? If I commit a crime, the first mode of investigation goes to the security. What were you doing when this person entered into it?
All right.
Second, suppose if we followed the procedures also, taking my photograph and all. Second, on the floor, if there is a CCTV camera, was that camera working or not? So these are the layers which has to be clubbed together and made responsible for it. Without that, it's the person who has created, we don't know.
Okay.
So how can we just go behind the person who is not known or not seen?
Or there could be multiple people
Multiple people,
involved
there
at
are
various
layers.
stages.
There are layers. For example, a video is there. The voice is done by someone else. The program, the filigree work is done by someone else. And then the demand is done by someone else.
Okay.
There are call centers who have floors. I will not name the country where I personally seen the call center. It's a 13-storied building.
Okay.
Where the first floor doesn't know what is the second floor doing. First floor is just taking care of KYCs. Second floor is just calling after getting those KYCs. Third floor is just collecting the data of the banks.
Okay.
Fourth floor is the people who are just transferring that money to the banks.
Okay.
So this is the layers. So one layer, two layer, this is how investigation can be done. And there are laws for this.
Okay.
But the direct straight law, not a single country has. Now just UK has started with the AI law, but that's still not implemented.
So it's all probably in the process of evolution as we go along, as more and more cases come to light. Probably, people will understand how to safeguard this entire process. While we use it to our advantage, how can we keep ourselves safe?
Yes.
I want to ask you particularly because, I, as somebody who interacts with a lot of people online, and, there'll always be, say, a certain offer coming to you and you don't know how to ascertain the authenticity. And often I was told, and I also thought, that a video call is a good idea. You see the person. But when I was talking to you before this interview, you told me even that is not a very safe option. Can you explain?
So in that also, because problem is that specifically not only in India, I see other countries also, people just believe what they see. And I think so in hundreds of years back also, there was in Hindi, there was जो दिखता है वो भी सच नहीं होता है.
अच्छा, okay.
So,
वो भी सच नहीं होता है.
नहीं होता है.
Seeing is not believing anymore.
Yes, yes. But what we made it, no, okay. What we hear is not true, but what we see is the truth. No, now that is proved.
Even that is not true.
That is proved. Second step is that awareness. If I genuinely call my wife, for example, or my family members, they should have some coding. Now these days have come where you have to have an interaction code between the family members also. Suppose I am calling my wife and I want to prove that it is me only. So I'll give some code with exchange between my family.
Okay.
That's for example, if I go to my door, my house, I have a common key given to everyone. That key no one knows.
Okay.
The same way, if I have what is the color? Suppose if I take blue, so she will say, oh, blue is superb. So that means it is me only.
Okay.
Now, this is the things only which can now make you. Otherwise, technically, if we see, obviously there are steps we can identify the video, it is fake or not.
You were giving an example of a father-daughter exchange. Can you share it?
Yeah. Now in my office only, one of my juniors, she was just sitting next to me and she was checking my dictations and all. And suddenly her father called her up. Sorry, I was not knowing, her mother called me up. And she started narrating, sir, why are you not picking my daughter's phone? She's in big trouble. I said, what happened? She's just besides me. But no, she's stuck up. Police has caught her up for prostitution racket.
My God.
And she's being taken away from the court and all those things. And she's continuously trying your phone. You're not picking up the phone.
So someone else has been calling the mother,
pretending
to be their own daughter.
And that also a video call.
Exact voice and
video call. It was a video call with the court dress. She's wearing a blazer, she's wearing the band, everything.
Okay.
And obviously when this dress is there, the father will believe she's my daughter only.
But usually it is to extract money, isn't it?
Yes, ultimately 99% is for money. And because ultimately, why will those criminals do? They don't know you personally.
Yeah.
Randomly they just select you. Obviously there is a homework behind it.
Yeah.
It's like just अपने 10 लाख में लोगों में से you have just selected someone. They have to do the homework. They make some particular thing. Previously to replicate someone it used to take me months and years. Now it's a fraction of days because the social media speaks everything.
So what I understand is even if your own father, your daughter, your friend who you know very well calls you up and says, I'm in deep distress and this is the money I desperately need, can you transfer this money? The person may sound exactly like your family member, may sound like your friend, may look like that person, even on a video call. Even then, according to Mr. Bafna, you should not be trusting it, especially if there is money involved.
Yes.
Did I get that correct?
Agreed.
There must be some code because this is for your safety. And there are criminals out there who have reinvented themselves and they've found out so many new and different ways to sort of cheat you and dupe you.
Yes. The more the awareness, the more new technique will come out.
Yeah. Financial fraud is the biggest issue, isn't it? I mean, among all the frauds that you deal with. So I was just reading this case in Hong Kong where, somebody impersonating as a chief financial officer had this whole deal worked out, and he and his entire team, they're all fake as it turned out, appeared on a video call, engaged on a deal of a merger or acquisition, and later turned out that this whole thing was a scam. So have you in your experience dealt with such large volume?
Now if you see, that is a very old case. Recently our Supreme Court, the Oswal Group of Industries, I'm naming them because it was in the news, they had to pay 5.15 crores where an online hearing is going on of the Supreme Court, where our Honorable CJ is sitting over there, and the court hearings are going on, and that the client, the victim, he is in that particular hearing, except him, everyone was fake.
Oh my God.
And over there, our Honorable CJ is pronouncing a penalty to him, that you have to pay this much crore penalty or else the matter may go against you. That person believed it and he deposited the money into the bank. In the evening, when he called up his lawyer, they told today hearing was only not there. Then how can the penalty be levied on you? I have already deposited that money. Well, sorry, show me the video. When the video was shown, he told the person who is standing and arguing, it is not me. The CJ is sitting, it is not him itself. The courtroom itself is a fake courtroom. And this
has just started.
Just happened.
This happened, but this online hearing, the fact that it is now made available to public where you can actually listen to the court hearing is a new phenomenon.
Yes.
And it turns out that it has a huge flip side. I mean, people can use it to cheat. I want to ask you about the voice cloning part in particular, because I think a lot of cases are happening even in the news now in politics. Rival parties are blaming each other. So and so ने इतने पैसे ले लिए, ये इनका voice recording है. So many of these videos are found to be doctored. So how do you fix liability if somebody goes and files a defamation suit or says I have been cheated, my voice is being impersonated? Is there legal remedy available for such cases?
This is actually just the new technique which has, but this particular thing, voice cloning, is going on from centuries. For example, the artists, mimicry artists, they used to replicate the voice of some famous film stars and all those things. That time also the court never used to entertain. No video, no audio recording can be entertained as evidence in the court. Because it can be fake. For example, KBC, Kaun Banega Crorepati, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan's voice is thrown away in public. Anyone calls him up, Amitabh Bachchan bol raha hu. And people believing in depositing money also over there. So now that doesn't make Mr. Amitabh liable for this, because it's a clone. Now the same thing is because it's digital, it's coming in the digital mode. So as an evidence, it cannot be used, first of all.
But there is still a reputational loss, and in politics it matters. I mean, when somebody sort of floats a false theory, a completely fake narrative based on a voice recording. So would you say that such things should never be taken at face value?
Yes, obviously, because see, we don't know.
There's no benefit of doubt that should be given ever.
No, never.
That's a very important point, I think, coming from you, because a lot of us news persons also often run those audio clippings, and we will put a disclaimer saying we cannot,
yes, it's just hearsay or just as for the clipping available to you.
But even then, it causes reputational loss. It even changes political dynamics. There are a lot of gullible people out there who end up believing. So the damage is huge. Such a person can come to a lawyer like you and
yes,
claim
but
that
I'll tell you, if someone comes, I will not name a very high profile politician was there. His audio was out for not for a deal, but for some other comments. So he told me to file a defamation suit. But against whom? Defamation is where you're claiming compensation from a human being. You cannot claim compensation from an unknown person.
So there are big challenges
there. Yes, if you have the evidence that this person has created, please give me the evidence. I'll send him a legal notice, because a notice is mandatory. When you're going for compensation and penalties, you have to have a notice for a monetary claim. Okay, you have done this particular activity, I'm suing you for approximately $1 million. So that the person should be there available. First thing is, in cybercrime, you don't know who is it. So where are you going to send the notice? Secondly, you may assume that this person is there. Assumption cannot go in court. You require evidence. And audios can be, now Facebook, Instagram, you go, there are applications available. You name the person.
Audio can be easily available. The easiest thing to do.
So how can I make someone liable for it, which I have not done?
I find it interesting that you mentioned that you need a human entity or a person as such against whom you would. So what happens in AI relationships now? And I was reading there's so many of these apps which are there to find you a virtual partner. So you have an online girlfriend, you have an online wife, And there are apps which are raking in millions of rupees because people are signing up for them. There is loneliness across the
Yes.
world. Young people who don't want to invest in real relationships finds this easy. So there again, it's an AI. So if anything goes wrong, if a person is defrauded, you are saying that there is nothing where you can file a case against because it's not a human entity?
I think so, because you are from the media, so you might be knowing. Just 15 days back, something has happened in our country only, where a person from Dubai is a laborer. He was interacting with a female from past 2 years, chatting online, dating.
Knowing that it's a virtual or not knowing, that's important.
No, it's a virtual.
Virtual.
He
And
knows
the
that
person
she's my
knew it's a
virtual
virtual,
friend.
yeah.
Then suddenly he proposed her, I want to get married. And she agreed. That person booked a venue in a particular area. He came down with his family members. He took the barat at that venue. That time he came to know there is no venue by such name. Second, there is no female by such name. Now you just imagine, it was a virtual engagement.
No, I'm saying when he was engaging virtually, he thought that such and such is a real person.
Yeah, yes.
He did not think it's a chatbot.
No.
Okay.
Because chatbox ultimately it's a particular percentage who will go on chatbox. Who knows it's a machine who's going to challenge. There's little bit disturbed people who will go over there and satisfy themselves. But 99% people will want a human on the other side.
Okay.
Personally they will not meet them. Because I know if she is in US, I will never meet her. But at least mentally and virtually I can see her.
Yeah.
So this thing has happened just 15 days back in India, where that person was shocked. No one exists by this name, and the person who was chatting, he doesn't know who was she. He or she now don't know.
Yeah.
So there are chat boxes.
So even in those cases, there is nothing in terms of legally where you can claim any damages.
As per my suggestions or guidelines, if I give to my clients, I will make the platform liable for that.
Platform liable, okay.
Because I just go as per the geographical laws. Suppose in this particular room, someone has committed a crime and I give him shelter over here. And the cops come and they say, oh no one is over here. They go back. So legally I am liable for assisting that crime.
Okay.
Then why not virtually also? So the law is the same. Only the grounds have changed. So that also I am giving that person a platform to do that crime.
So you're saying the platforms have the responsibility to incorporate enough safeguards,
yes,
so
there
people
should be
do
some
not fall
liabilities
into this sort of
where
fraud.
the intermediary guidelines 2022, which our Indian government had framed it in the IT Act, they were covering this particular thing. A particular section was there where the intermediaries are liable to have their filtrations, verify the credentials of those people who are uploading or creating a profile over there. Now this is not a huge, obviously I can understand it's a huge vertical for them. But when you are running a particular platform, it's for that only.
You have it.
You're going to raise your hands. No, everywhere. You don't have democracy over there. In India we are users. We don't have any such platforms. So over there, in your country, I will not name them, in their country, they have actions against them. Why not in our country? Even they are liable for our country also.
Yeah.
So that's,
and especially because that is happening, at a very high rate. This sort of a fraud that you just mentioned. But I also want to ask you about chatbots in particular. What happens in those scenarios? So many of these apps people are signing up for, knowing, not in the you mentioned, knowing that there is no such person, human, who exists. It's just a chatbot who I have created, and I am engaging for years and years. This engagement happens, and then for any sort of mental trauma or for any sort of breakdown, there is nothing that legally a person or a parent of a child or someone can.
No, because the developer of the chat box in the disclaimers they clearly write down, we are not responsible for any of such events if they take place, because it's a machine who is going to do the running of the show and whatever. If that person knows now 99% people don't read the disclaimers and terms and conditions. They just create their profile and they start their behaviors. That time legally you cannot sue the platforms also, because they have clearly mentioned it in their terms and conditions.
Okay.
We are not liable.
So this is very interesting. I want to basically go back a little bit to the issue of phishing, online catfishing. There was a very interesting documentary which is now also available on an OTT platform, where a girl was engaging with a person. He is a real person, but someone else created the profile of that person and started engaging with, and this was done purely for fun. There was not even a money transaction that was expected here. This teenager engaged in it for his or her own entertainment. कि मैं देखना चाहती हूँ मैं कर सकती हूँ कि नहीं. He or she is connected to the victim, creates a profile of a real person and starts engaging. And the actual real person has no idea that a parallel life of his image has been created, and he is supposed to be dating this woman. So when finally everything comes out, and it's very shocking to see that the police actually gets that person arrested, because obviously here you do have a real person. So in first instance that person was arrested until it came out that he was not even involved in this. Have you in your experience dealt with catfishing?
Was around, 2 years back. A particular struggling actor was there. He was at the airport, Mumbai airport only. Then suddenly the cops came and took him into custody. He told, why are you taking? You have sent pornographic clippings to one of the complainant. He said, what pornographic clipping? Well, she is the complainant. She is known to me. She was her friend only, his friend only. Well, she has filed a complaint. Well, okay, let me see the complaint. But the police took him because it was under section 67, which is non-bailable and all those.
I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah, it's an interesting case.
I cannot name it over here.
Yeah, sure.
So he was taken into custody, taken to the nearest police station. Then he was, being a star, so obviously the police assisted him also. Okay, this is the FIR. It's against an unknown person because the complainant doesn't know who has done it, who is sending up pornographic clippings. But through the IP addresses, and it was through WhatsApp chats.
Okay.
And that person, then when the complainant came down to the police station, she herself is telling, no, this person cannot be there. Okay. He's a very good friend of mine. He cannot do this. But the electronic evidence, his number was being flashed in the WhatsApp. It was being routed through his WhatsApp, through his mobile IMEI number. Now the evidence, if the evidence is there, he has to be taken into custody. He was arrested, put up for bail. I got him out of bail because that's a legal procedure how I got him out. But then I explained the police. Okay, so just on having the first layer, कि इसका मोबाइल नंबर है, दिख रहा है स्क्रीनशॉट, you arrest that person. No, you have to investigate first. What is the IP address from where it has come? Which is the ISP from where it has been shooted up? You have to take a permission from WhatsApp gateway. Okay, was this chat sent on this particular day and time? The logs of those particular things.
So our police force is also not entirely trained to deal with the
they don't have that infrastructure.
They don't have that.
They are very eager to go into it. Plus, some of the problems are there. The intermediaries who are abroad, they don't respond to our legal law enforcement.
Okay.
If we write down to a particular company, they will take months to reply back. And this cyber is such a thing. It's just like a flow of water. You have to clean it immediately. You cannot wait for months. So this is the problem where the criminals know all these things.
And also know that there are loopholes in the system.
Yes.
They take advantage of the fact that in our legal system there is no provision to track this.
Yes. So that's why they know everything. And plus they know where is the intermediary sitting over there. There are no bilateral relations between those countries. If someone is caught also, it's very difficult to get that person. Plus now after VPN coming into picture, you don't know which country also that belongs to.
In a way you do have to open out to the world, but at the same time if you don't have the safeguards in place, and of course I feel a lot of personal discretion, alertness is required. But tell me, in terms of what the government of India has done, I was just reading that for banks now, the government has urged banks to collaborate with this innovative artificial intelligence and machine learning based model called mulehunter.ai to deal with rising menace of mule accounts. Of course, that's become a very big issue for digital frauds. Is it enough what the government of India has done so far?
No, this is just the beginning. Now, ample of things are there, except only the government cannot do. It's a triangle where the law enforcement, the government, as well as the financial institutions, where bankers also come into. They have to sit together. Because what happens now, the first door which a victim knocks is the law enforcement. They go over there. They become blank. As per ample of judgments, they have to take the complaint. They write down to the bank. Bank raises their hands up. Okay, sorry, it's the credentials which they have shared, due to which the financial fraud has taken place, or due to greediness they have shared their money or whatever. So we are not responsible. Now this is where they don't know the laws. The law enforcement doesn't know. They feel only the IT Act takes care of cybercrime. No. Only the Information Technology Act is not sufficient. For example, if you are getting admitted to a hospital, I am suffering from a bypass, suppose for a heart attack. Will only the heart surgeon cure me? No. A diabetologist will come, or dietitian will come. Ample of doctors will come together. They'll verify the patient, and then the operation will be done. The same way is in legal also. IT Act is the punishment part. There are other acts. The Bankers Regulations Act, the Electronic Evidence Act is there. frame those laws, make the banks also sit across. See, these are the loopholes where the criminals take that advantage of that. And you raise your hands, the investigation stops. The next layer, the person cannot go. Now the criminals are so smart. They open up a bank account in the morning, they close down in the evening. What does the RBI says? If I want to withdraw more than 1 lakh rupees, there are particular norms. I have to give in writing to my home branch. Why do I need that money? Secondly, and plus if I go to another branch, a penalty will be levied on that. A charge will be levied. Now in these criminals, they take away from my home branch, they spread it to some other city. From there they withdraw in hard cash 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs rupees. How is it possible? The laws are there also the same. This is where the lacuna of
and also internationally there has to be perhaps some sort of a cooperation and collaboration.
Yes.
Because this is not a internal,
it's all across the world.
Yes,
Yes, all
across the world. But who according to you are the most vulnerable targets who fall easy prey to
I tell you
cyber
frankly, the most is the service class and the educated class.
That's interesting.
Because they know the mentality. A person from the lower profile person, he has his own time to verify. Plus secondly, he doesn't have that funds what I am targeting into. The educated and the middle class is that they're always on the run. They have their responsibilities. So I know, for example, if I want to target you, I know at this time you will be busy in some particular interview. Right? So I will keep on targeting you on this particular. I will shoot up so many missed calls. Your phone is aside, but as soon as you go out, what is our habit? We'll see our phone. And you see there are only 20 missed calls from one particular number. Whether you know that person or not, you will dial it back. Over there, he has hit you. This is where they understand your social behavior. And then they know, okay, the educated class, they have their own burdens, financial burdens and all. At this particular date, they are going to get their salaries. They are going to clear those EMIs or whatever. And they hit over there.
Right. So even the mindset pattern,
Yes.
the day-to-day working pattern, everything is studied by the fraudsters before they target certain individuals.
Yes.
They know how things work and how they can get a person in a weak
and main
spot.
is that because I keep on training the police also. Because there is no one person who is doing all these things. Because it's not possible. One person can target one person's human behavior and study him. There are layers of people. For example, they target young boys and girls from lower villages. They give them some particular amount. Okay, 10,000 rupees per day you'll get. You don't have to do anything. You just have to check the Facebook profiles of these 100 people. Collect the data, send it on this particular email. Their role is over. A second volume is available. They will do the other notebook. So this is where the layers are available. That's why it's very fast.
So if such networks you think are already operating
Yes.
right now, how big are these networks?
So huge. If we
So we are already, all of us
in
are at
trouble.
risk because these networks are currently, even as we
and
speak,
they are innocent people actually.
they are at work.
They are innocent people. They don't know. They are because the people behind it, they know whom to target. They'll go to the needy people for whom 10,000 is a very big amount. They'll go over there. They'll take up someone for example, a cart puller. For him, 1,000 rupees is a very big thing. They'll give him 1,000 rupees. Sir, आपको कुछ नहीं, आपका आधार दे दो. For him, आधार is nothing. Okay, sir, ले लो. The bank account will be opened in his name. But he doesn't know that bank account is already opened. The registered mobile number will be of the other person.
Yeah.
So this is how and when the police goes, okay, who is the beneficiary? That cart puller. And he's taken into custody for unknown reasons.
Yeah. From what I gather from what you're saying, certain amount of alertness, of course, but you're also saying that one has to be so aware of the laws that are in place.
Yes.
And what you can claim, what you cannot claim, and also in terms of how things work in this, because these networks exist. So to keep yourself aware of which are the loopholes that can be targeted, that's a very important thing. One quick question about the AI, speakers, the sound, like, you have an Alexa that people are using, or a Siri that people are using. Even you talk to your phones and you feel as if your phone can listen to you and respond to you. What are the risks involved there?
It's a very risky. I'm getting very ample of family issues in this.
Okay.
Now people have stopped using Alexa.
Yeah.
Because the husband-wife talks were being recorded by that. And suddenly, in one of my case, a hacker had already entered into the router of that particular, because he was a high-profile person. And then he got control of the Alexa also. He took away all the recordings, he flashed it on the net.
So it's a huge privacy breach.
The husband-wife thought that they themselves had released it
Oh,
to
okay.
defame each other.
Okay.
And it went into a battlefield where it went to the family court.
Oh,
Now,
So
these are the
somebody
things-
else has ruined.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now these are the things. Now in Dubai also, I just saw there was a trade exhibition on AI, which is known as JITEX. Over there, the robots are there now. I think so. In 6 months, 7 months, we will be seeing in our houses also.
Okay.
The robots are already there. They're totally AI enabled. They will listen to you. They will hear you. They will stand as if nothing is there, just like a standalone. But they are interactive. So we have to take care. There is some third person, because ultimately there is a human involvement who is watching that robot, who's controlling that robot.
Okay.
That person can misuse you. Or if the hacker takes control of that thing, all your what we say, the bedroom scenes and everything can be captured. So you have to have some habits.
Yeah. In conclusion, tell us a few things that everyone must know to safeguard themselves, to keep themselves safe from, say, a digital fraud.
First thing is that don't show your greediness. First thing is, even if you are in need of something, don't show it on the social media. I need this thing. Secondly, don't share everything on that.
Online.
But there are people watching you, good and bad both. They are watching you. Don't be over cautious. Oh, I am getting so many likes. No, they're just creating a platform for you to post more things. So don't get into that involvement. Secondly, you should know the particular procedure. For example, if I'm a non-driver, I don't know how to drive. I'm sitting next to the driver. But then also, if the driver breaks the zebra crossing and crosses it, I will alert him. No. Zebra crossing cross mat kar. I'm not a driver, I don't know, but I know the law. The rules.
You have
the
to
same
know the
thing
rules.
in this internet world. We should know some basic rules. We are operating a phone. Where do you need the internet connection? Just operate that time. Don't put it 24 hours on. While sleeping, put it off. Who is going to connect with you?
Okay, that's
Even
important.
your habit will change, because people get up in the midnight, they check their WhatsApp. That habit is also a disease. If you put it
Let
off,
me reiterate, you're saying switch off your Wi-Fi.
yes, the
When you
data
don't-
itself.
The data when you don't need it.
Yes, because
That's
the
very
hackers, they
important.
operate in the midnight.
And
you
we
see-
have a habit of keeping it on all the time.
Yes.
It's unnecessary.
For example, we are sitting over here. Neither you are using your phone, neither me. But our data is on. That time, the culprit knows that we are in an interview.
Yeah.
That time they will target, because we are not operating it.
Yeah.
The same way, the major financial frauds happens in Friday night, Sunday night, and Sunday and Saturday night. Because they know these are the period where the banks are not working. The law enforcement also, the courts are not working.
Relaxed, yeah.
They know the legality. And this is such that people had leisure this time, the weekends. So that's why make it an habit, because they will not be able to penetrate into your system without the internet connection. Stop them at the gateway itself. Don't allow them. Get up in the morning and then put it on. Automatically, whoever messaged you, you can read them.
Right.
So this is the second. Don't give your handsets to anyone, unknown people, because you don't know what that person is going to do.
Okay.
Don't click on anything. Don't believe anything. Auto download, put it off.
You're saying the links that come.
Yes.
Never click on
Never click.
unknown links.
Suppose if you have sent me an email, I know you, it's from you, then also I should not trust you. That link I should not click. I should copy that particular link, put it into the browser, and then click.
Okay.
Because there I don't have to click, I just have to enter.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
so
the coding-
clicking is dangerous,
Yes, clicking.
but when you use the browser and you copy paste,
Nothing
then you
will
are
happen.
safer.
Because what happens, the coding which is done behind that particular link is a mouse click.
Okay.
If there is no click, that particular coding will not activate. So copy it and post it in a browser.
Yeah.
Because the browser is having the filtrations, the antiviruses and everything. When you click on it, so for example, if there is an antivirus installed on your system, they will not take care of your social media accounts. They will take care of the browsers and all, because there is a plugins.
Plugins, correct.
In your social media, in applications, there are no plugins. So these are the few things which will save you.
So I think privacy is one area, and as you very rightly described to us, the area of financial fraud. These two are major areas of concern, and the rules and the sort of preventive measures that you have explained to us, Mr. Bafna. Thank you so much for joining us here on Free Press Journal.
Thank you so much.
Giving us your time. Thanks.